Hello again, everybody, and welcome to your practice. Today's Hatha Yoga session will have a special focus on connecting with feeling in the body and on making time for that feeling, a mindful practice full of intention. So we'll be doing some breath work and just breathing awareness, as well as some good stretches for the whole body and a little bit of an emphasis today on the lower part of the body. So hips, upper legs, knees, lower legs, and even our feet. We'll try to get some self-massage in there as well. So you don't really need anything special for today's practice, but you might want to have a prop to help you sit up easier or support yourself in any pose. For example, a bolster, or even if you just have a blanket or a towel that you can roll up, this can be a nice support for under the knees or even a cushion of some kind. Another thing is maybe a block or a book to help you sit up a little bit easier. So we'll start today in a seated position. Sit in any way that feels comfortable for you, where your spine can be extended. You can feel like the head, and especially the top of your head, lifts up as you inhale. And as you exhale, breathe out the mouth with a sigh. And notice how that feels. You're just gonna give yourself a little bit of time to arrive in your seat, to arrive in this moment, in this body. And notice how that is right here, right now. Just observing and seeing if with your exhales, you might be holding on to anything that you don't need. And give yourself permission to let that go. Sometimes feels good even to lift the shoulders on an inhale, and on an exhale, let the shoulders fall back and down, relaxing into the upper back. Maybe try that again on an inhale, squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears. And this time, as you exhale, pull the shoulders back and down. Notice how that feels. See which one might feel better for you. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, pull the shoulders up, squeeze them as much as you can, and with an exhale, release. Sitting up tall again, making any adjustments that you need, so that for the next few moments you can sit quietly, sit stably, and turn your attention inwards. You may want to close the eyes and begin to scan your body from the top of your head all the way down through the bottom of your feet, moving past your forehead, softening the area in between your eyebrows and around the sides of the head. Just letting your awareness glide over the body gently, continuously, as you take some observations, some mental notes of any sensation you're feeling anywhere. As you move past the muscles of the face and the mouth, see if you can use your exhales to soften your jaw, relaxing around your lips, even your tongue. Continue sitting up tall as you inhale, sitting up a little easier whenever you can. And using your exhales again to just soften with your awareness. And if you come to any area in the body, as you continue your scan, where there's a big feeling, or maybe it's just a lot of feeling, or a hard feeling, a lot of tension perhaps, feel free to pause and rest your attention there as you continue your natural breath. Always breathing in through the nose, naturally filtering the breath whenever that is available to you. And if it feels good, breathing freely out the nose or the mouth, even making a sound with the breath, a nice way to relax. Just continue in your rhythm, seeing if you can avoid chasing after any big sensations. If you feel something very sharply, notice that, but then continue that easy, gentle flow of your awareness as you scan over the whole body. Paying particular attention to where your upper body meets your lower body, right around your center. And then gradually moving into the lower body, past your hips, your seat, into the legs. Maintaining calm, watchful awareness. And seeing if you can use your exhales to soften any hardness, any tension that you find. And once you arrive at the bottom of your body, all the way past the ankles, the feet, the soles of the feet, and the tips of your toes, simply bring your awareness back to your breathing at any place in the body where you can notice your breath. Just kind of take a few moments again to observe your natural breathing at that place in the body where you notice it the most, right here, right now. Maybe you're noticing the way the belly expands, lifts with every inhale. Then just notice the way the belly falls and gently contracts with every exhale. Perhaps the breath is more present in your upper chest, or maybe in the throat, maybe even at the tip of the nose. See if you can become a little bit more interested, a little bit more of a neutral observer of your breath as it is. And let go of any wish to change it or any reaction that may judge it. See if you can let go of any of those stories that you tell yourself. And instead, really observing what is. And when you're ready, at the end of an exhale, completely release all of the old air, maybe even squeeze the belly in, squeeze the navel towards your spine. And on your next inhale, begin to deepen the breath. And on your next exhale, also lengthen the breath so that you take your time to get a full release with every exhale. So in this way, naturally and spontaneously, just let the breath get a little bit longer, a little bit fuller, perhaps a gentle pause. And then with your exhale, smoothly, softly, and continuously release the breath until you get it all the way out, so that the length of your inhales continue to be matched, balanced by the length and also that intensity or strength of your exhales. Keep it relaxed. We're going to keep doing this until you come to what feels like your biggest but still comfortable amount of breathing. Gentle pause, and then take the time to fully release with each exhale. You can even squeeze the navel in towards the back. That helps you get that last air out, the bottom of the breath. We're going to take 5 more of these long, smooth, unrushed breaths. At the end of your next exhale, you can release this practice of deep belly breathing and simply return to your natural breath. Taking a moment again to notice how you feel, and particularly noticing if there are any changes, any new sensations, or something you weren't able to notice before. And when you're ready, gently opening your eyes. And on an inhale, we're going to bring the arms over the side body and up above the head to meet. Exhale, hands to the center of the heart, rounding you back, bowing your head, and then interlace your fingers. And on an inhale, push out with the inside of your hands, but try to keep the shoulders relaxed. As you inhale, bring the hands again overhead. Exhale, let the arms float down, riding the winds of your breath. We'll do that again. Inhale, let the arms rise with the breath. The spine is long, the face relaxed. Exhale, hands to the center of the heart. Gently bowing your head as you round the back. And then interlace the fingers and push your heart out. Reach your arms forward. And inhale, reach up. Exhale, release the hands, softening the shoulders and letting them ride the breath. Last time. Inhale, reach up, maybe even look up. And then exhale, hands to the center of the heart, over the gaze. Inhale, extend the arms, the inside of the hands, keeping the shoulders heavy and reaching up. You arch the back, and then exhale, releasing, returning back to neutral, and sitting easy. Lovely. So we're going to do one more breathing exercise here in seated pose. And if you can sit still very stably, very comfortably, stay like that. You may also want to change your legs, changing the cross of your legs so the other leg is in front. This may be more or maybe less comfortable, but it's probably different either way. So you might need to make an adjustment, maybe moving your sitting bones out a little bit wide so that you can, again, lift your spine with your inhale and let your body rest down into the support of the earth with your exhales. We're going to take Kapalabhati breathing here. This is a very activating breathing exercise. It is basically a powerful exhale from your center where you pull the navel in as you exhale the air out. And the inhale is just passive. It happens automatically. You don't even have to try. And this exercise works best when you are as relaxed as you can be. And really the only movement comes from the center. So try to avoid a lot of excess movement with the rest of your body. And again, don't force, don't try too hard. That won't help. But you can take it as fast or even as slow as you like. See if you can find an even rhythm that works for you. I'll guide you through it first, and then we'll do it together. So you can kind of imagine there's like a candle right here about 1 arm's length in front of you. And if you were doing this out your mouth, you imagine that a powerful exhale is blowing out this candle. So you would exhale, repeatedly, again in your rhythm, and just let the inhale come naturally. You can do this with your breath out the mouth. It's always a way to, it's always an option. You can sometimes release a lot of tension. And classically, this is done also breathing out through the nose and letting the inhale come passively through the nose. I'm going to do 2 full rounds like that in your rhythm. So sit up tall again on an inhale. And see if you can sit a little easier anywhere as you exhale. Breathe in a comfortable amount and begin. With your next exhale, release the air completely and then hold the air out for as long as you can do so comfortably. You can drop the head, lowering the chin towards your chest, and even pulling the belly in as you lift your pelvic floor. Before it becomes difficult, release any of that holding and return to your natural breathing for at least a round or 2. And just feel that. Again, this is a very activating breathing exercise that helps encourage the lifting of energy from the lower parts of the body, lower energy centers, especially good for clear thinking. It's kind of an exercise to clear out the cobwebs in your mind or when you're just feeling lethargic. We're going to do another round, and it's going to be a little bit longer. And I'll do it a little bit faster, but again, please listen to your body and follow the rhythm that works best for you, where you can basically have an even rhythm of breathing. So we'll take another rich and full inhale, and then exhale completely. Breathe in a comfortable amount to begin. your last exhale, release all of the air and option to engage your energetic lock. So your pelvic floor squeezes in and up, the belly pulling in, even the chin lowering to the chest. The spine stays long, and you hold this only as long as feels good in your body. Before there's any strain, release any holding, sit up tall, and breathe easy. Return to your natural breathing, maybe even closing the eyes again, and taking another moment to observe and feel. Kapalabhati is a great breathing exercise, especially in the winter time or any time where we tend to spend more of our day indoors, where we're not getting as much fresh air outside in nature, and where our immune system may be more compromised. It's thought to improve immunity overall. Part of this is because it improves and helps the body restore its natural harmony of homeostasis. And it also is a nice way to strengthen your core. So it can be done really anywhere. You can even do it in some of our other yoga poses. With an inhale, go ahead and reach the arms up overhead again. And exhale, hands back to the center of the heart. Closing your eyes for a moment. And turning your attention again inwards. And I invite you to set an intention for your practice today. How would you like to show up and live the rest of your day? An intention is often best when it is short, sweet, expressed in the positive. Something like, I am here, I am happy, I am healthy, full of the zest and love of life. Whatever your intention is, you can repeat it 3 times to yourself in connection with your breathing, honoring whatever it is that you're feeling. Lovely. So we're gonna come off of our seat. If you're using any props, set them to the side and come down onto your back. Just lower and roll down, or use your hands and help yourself down. And take a moment again to notice how that feels. And then bending your knees and hugging your legs into your chest. Keep your tailbone long, so extend it towards the mat, away from your head. So we reach the lower back long and reach it down into the ground. And then give yourself another squeeze. And then go ahead and roll side to side a little bit. Just massaging the back body. You can also roll up and down a bit, grabbing behind the knees. Just be careful not to roll on your neck. Lovely. We're going to do a little bit more to activate and also strengthen the core muscles. So when you're ready, bring your arms by your side with your knees right above your hips. Notice your knees parallel to each other. And notice the direction your knees are pointing. We're going to keep them very stable. Keep them right where they are. Inhale and spread your toes, stretching through the bottom of your feet. And as you exhale, we're going to lower the toes of one leg towards the ground, in the direction of the ground. It's okay if it doesn't touch. And inhale back up. So the whole time, the knees stay very stable. They stay oriented right where they are. And we're going to guide this movement with the breath and also connect to your center. So keep your belly pulling into the body.
And it's okay if the toes don't touch the ground. And if at any time you notice a sharp sensation, or if you feel something that feels like electrical pain or even fire or a cramp in the body, this is a good sign from your body to slow down, to stop doing what you're doing, take it a little bit easier, or even take a break. Do one more time on each side. Really try to spread your toes on the inhale. And keep your knee very stable. Keep your core pulling in. And when you get through the second side, come back up and we'll give it a try with 2 legs at a time. Again, keeping both knees very stable, right where they are. And then inhale back up. Nice. Okay, we're gonna now hug again. That's a nice way to release tension in the lower back, and also massaging is a great way to release your lower back. And then we're gonna cross the legs so that the right knee is on top of the left. Notice how that feels. You wanna feel a nice stretch here in the outer hip. And if you're not feeling much of a stretch yet in the outer hip, you can bring your knees a little bit closer as you reach for the shins, or maybe all the way down for your ankles or your heels, bringing the legs in closer to the body, but keeping that tailbone reaching away from your head and in towards the ground. So the low back nice and extended here, and make sure you're breathing deep. Lovely. So, one more stabilizing exercise here. Keeping your legs crossed, bring your hands behind your head. Now, if you have any pain in your neck, you're also welcome to just keep your head on the floor or bring your fingertips to the sides of your head. This will help make sure you don't pull on your head as we do a variation, kind of a reverse crunch. So we're gonna do, as you exhale, we're gonna bring the upper body up as you bring the knees, keep the knees, sorry, right where they are, and then inhale deep. Now, as you exhale, we're gonna extend the knees and the forehead away from each other, but keep pulling the belly in. Inhale, come back up. Keep pulling the belly in, and then exhale, extend away. Inhale, navel to the spine, squeeze into a ball, and then exhale, squeezing your legs together, we extend the whole body. Inhale back up. We're gonna do 3 more like that. Exhaling and inhaling, pulling it in. The whole time, the navel reaches down towards the spine, and you really go only as far as you can. That feels good in your lower back, not overextending. We don't want to overarch the back. Inhale, squeeze it in, and then exhale, this time lower the head and release. Bring your arms by your side in a cactus, so with your elbows bent, or in a T-shaped position if you have the room. So if the right knee is on top, we're gonna maybe scoot the hips over to the right and then drop your knees over to the left, taking a spinal twist. So your feet may touch the floor, your knees may also, and they need not. It's okay if they don't. You could also support them with a block there or a blanket. You could also bring your hand to the outside of your legs here and just rest it as you continue looking in a direction that feels good in your neck. You can look to the opposite direction, looking to the right, or just stay looking to the center. And again, noticing your breath. And as you continue breathing in today's class, you can stay with your natural breathing. We also have the option to start to add Ujjayi breathing. So to me, this sounds like the sound of the ocean in a seashell when you gently contract, gently constrict the muscles of the back of the throat. You could imagine like you were creating some steam to clean a glass or a mirror. When we do that, breathing out through the mouth, you feel that warmth, you feel that moisture, and we can get that same feeling even breathing in and out through the nose. Release your head back to center, and on an inhale, pulling the navel in, we bring the legs back up to center. And then we'll just pause, uncrossing the legs in a neutral spine, and take a moment again to observe. You might already feel a big difference from one side before we do the next. So we bring the legs together and now cross the left knee over the right. And we're gonna start to hug the legs closer to the body until we feel, again, that stretch in the outside of that hip. And if you're not feeling it, you may want to adjust by bringing your legs a little bit closer to the body or keep them far away. Really listen to the wisdom of your body here. And remember your breath. Always breathing in through the nose. You have that option of a little bit more now energizing Ujjayi breath. So if you're grabbing for your feet or for your ankles, give that a little squeeze into the body as you pull the navel into the body, and then bring the hands behind the head, and this time on an inhale, bring your upper body up. So head and shoulders up, but don't pull on your head, and definitely don't strain your neck. So inhale, pull the belly into the body, squeezing in towards your center, and then on an exhale, we reach out, reaching knees away, reaching your forehead away from the knees, and then inhale, pull it back in. And let's see if you can effort a little bit less for this, so that maybe your external effort is reduced by 20% or even 40%. Maybe even you're doing this 60% easier than you were the last time. And notice that you have the strength for this. You have that life force for this. And that strength is bigger. It goes beyond any muscle that you've got. It really comes from a connection to your center, a connection to your true self, that part of you that is connected to everything else. And so our breath is really one of our most important reminders of that connection. So as you exhale, you're bringing a little bit of that life force of you, a little bit of you outside. And as you inhale, you're pulling a little bit of everything in. Let's do that 2 more times. A little bit easier. Connecting back to center. Inhale, pull the knees towards the forehead, forehead towards the knees, and then exhale, release the head and the shoulders. Bring your arms by your side to that cactus or the T. And depending on your seat and your hips, you might want to make some more room by scooting the lower body, scooting your butt over to the side, as you now drop your knees over to the second side. So in the opposite direction of whatever knee is on top. And you can also look by rolling your head in the opposite direction. That can be a nice way to release some tension in the neck and the head. You can also just keep it right in the center or take a couple neck rolls here. Eventually you want to find a position that you can rest in for the next 3 or 4 smooth and deep breaths. Noticing if one side felt very different here in your spinal twist. And in particular, noticing if there is any of that stiffness, any of that stickiness, maybe especially between the ribs, that we don't have to fight against. So we definitely don't want to force something. But perhaps with your exhales, you can just soften that
with your awareness. Last breath here. And then on an inhale, looking back to the center, as you pull your navel in, bring the knees back up. And exhale, release the feet to the floor. And take a pause. And see if again you can just notice what is. And then from here, we're going to take Setu Bandhasana. So this is a bound butterfly position where the bottom of your feet, the soles of your feet are touching each other. And your arms can stay out wide here by your side, shoulders on the ground, back of the head on the ground. Or you could even bring one hand to your belly. Noticing again the rise and fall of your breath. And to protect the knees, it's always good when the knees are following the toes. So you might want to just lift the heel of the foot, maybe even 1 millimeter, maybe 2. This may help you engage around the ankle. When the ankles are engaged, this helps protect the knees as they line up with that center line of the foot. So the bottom of each foot, the bottom of the toes, the balls of the feet, the heels gently pushing in. As again, you lengthen your lower back, so that tail reaching away from the head and down. You might even bring your hands to your hip bones and notice the level part of the front of your hips. Leveling up. With one hand on the belly, it can be nice to bring one hand to the heart. And we're going to see if we can notice that breathing flow again, that rhythm of life that is supporting you. As you breathe from the center up to the heart, and with your exhale, softening your heart, returning to your center. Good stuff. Now, as you exhale, go ahead and squeeze the belly in a little bit more and hold that squeezing as you inhale. And notice that the belly stays rather flat here. It doesn't really lift, but now the breath is moving more up into the chest as the ribs expand a bit more, the collarbones even starting to lift a little bit more. And as you exhale, soften your heart back to the center and feel free to release that. Let's try it again after an inhale. Exhale, squeeze your navel into the body, back to the spine and a little bit up to the heart as you let the breath now move a little bit more into the upper breathing room. And soften from your heart, back down into your center and release. To release this pose, Setu Bandhasana, we'll use the hands on the outside of the legs and just lift them up a little bit. Nice. And feel free again to hug or massage. I'm going to stay here for just a couple more poses since we're on the back. We can get into the backs of the legs a little differently here and also the hips one more time. So we're going to start with just bend one knee and then lift your other leg up so that you can grab the back of your thigh. Now it's okay to bend the knee. That's even preferable than, of course, any pain in the back. But really try to reach your tailbone long away from your head down to the ground as you keep your thigh vertical. So lifting perpendicular to the floor, even if you bend at the knee. Now we want to push the back of your leg into the hands and keep the shoulders nice and heavy, relaxing down to the floor. Push as much as you can your legs into your hand, and then gently you start to add the hands pulling against the leg as you reach the bottom of your foot up and spread the toes again. And then release. Nice. We'll do the second side, same as before. Lifting one leg as the other foot rests on the floor. You can do some ankle rolls here, or just point and flex the foot, giving a little movement through the calf. But then we're going to energize the whole leg. So we're going to try to activate all of the muscles, particularly in the back of the leg, the hamstring, and that calf a little bit. So with your foot flexed and the back of your leg long, begin to push that leg into your hands. Your hands now start to pull against the back of the leg. The leg is still quite long and relaxed so that the head of your leg is reaching down towards the ground into the hip, but the bottom of your foot is reaching up. Spread your toes again. Make sure you're not grinding your teeth or scrunching your face. See if you can relax that and return to a fuller, easier breath. And on your exhale, release. Nice. So whichever leg you started on, we're going to start with that same leg for this next exercise. We're going to take a number 4 with that lifted leg. I'll show you from the other side though. So you're going to flex the ankle, so you have a 90-degree bend, and then you hook the foot on the outside of your upper leg with the foot that's resting on the floor. And then you start to, if you're already feeling a big stretch in the outside of that hip again, you can just stay there or start to bring the knee of the supporting leg towards the body as you begin to push the other knee, the lifted knee, away from your shoulders, away from your upper body. You can grab through your legs now, reaching on either side of the supporting leg, behind the knee, or just on the outside of the shin, right underneath the knee. But you're only going to come as close with your supporting leg as you can keep your spine reaching long with your tailbone reaching away and down, and the core pulling in. So the navel pulling in, your breath is long, your exhale is deep. Nice isometric tension here. Opposite actions as our supporting leg keeps reaching into the body, that supporting knee coming closer to your heart, and your lifted knee reaching away. Last breath here, and then release. Again, always a nice exercise to just pause and observe whenever we work one side and then the other, as you might be able to notice some big differences that way. So we start maybe even with the supporting foot on the floor, especially if you already feel a lot in that outer hip. We all tend to have kind of tight adductor muscles here, those muscles that help the legs move away from center. And if you're not feeling much, you can start to lift that supporting knee closer to your chest, grabbing underneath the knee or on the outside of the shin. Keep the lifted foot flexed. So the ankle engaged there. That'll also help the toes line up with the knee. And then as you pull the supporting leg into your body, you're reaching that lifted knee away from your shoulder. Feel that length of your whole spine as you pull that belly in again. And breathe a little bit easier. See if you can relax whatever you don't need to hold this pose. Long, easy breaths. Or if you were practicing Ujjayi and you've forgotten that, feel free to return. One more breath here. One more chance to let go of what you don't need. Gently releasing the pose. Nice. And then we're going to all grab behind the knees. And we're going to rock on the spine along its length. So rocking up and down. Again, being careful not to
rock onto the neck. Don't push any weight onto the neck. And we could just come up into a seat, or eventually we're going to come up to standing, so you can also do it this way. Next time you roll forward, just see if you can come up. We will use a little bit of momentum, but mostly we want to connect to center and rise. You can also just roll over onto your knees, come to the side, and come to standing. And now we're going to take our focus, now we've been grounded very well, connecting to our center, we're going to take that focus down into our base, into our root. To start with a little bit of balance and ankle rolls. Standing on your preferred leg, you can stand close to a wall and use maybe one finger to touch that wall as you roll through the ankle, and then roll in the other direction. Popping and cracking is a really good sound there. It's actually just associated with the fluid, the synovial fluid in the joints, warming up, filling new spaces. Sometimes the air in between just makes that pop. Sometimes some cracking is also the tissues loosening up of your connective tissue. Great. Let's take the second side. So your standing leg grounding down, belly pulling in, finding one thing that's not moving to look at as you take some easy ankle rolls. Keep the knee of your standing leg gently bent, relaxed, and we'll take those rolls in the other direction. This side might be different. You might be much more wobbly. That's okay. Feel free to use that wall for support. Ooh, nice. Okay, so we're going to stand now, hip distance apart with the feet. That's about 2 of your fists in between your feet. And notice the 4 corners of your mat. And notice your feet also have these 4 corners. So it's right behind the big toe. And then we'll spread the toes. And there's another corner of the ball of the foot right behind the little toe. The outside and the inside of your heel make those other 4 corners. We're going to try to reach those 4 corners down. As you inhale, spread your toes. So you want to see if you can see the color. Lift your toes up, spread them wide, and see the color of the mat between your toes. And as you exhale, relax the toes down. So the whole time we want to feel that connection of the support of the foot, the base along the 4 corners. Imagine those corners are pushing down. As you inhale, lift the toes up again and spread them, just like you were spreading your fingers. Now this is a very kind of funny pose. We would never walk this way, but it really helps you see and feel the lifting of the sole of the foot and the arches of your foot. Even the legs begin to activate a little bit more. See if you can keep your tail reaching down. And if you touch your lower abdomen, lower abdominal muscles are quite strong here. See if you can keep that energy pulling up from your root as you relax your toes, nice and slow. So the corners nice and connected, the toes relaxed. Close your eyes with the hands facing forward. We're just going to shift the weight forward and back along the feet. So notice how your feet react, how they respond to this change of your center of gravity, or where you're holding the center of your weight. You'll notice when you shift your weight forward, the front of the foot responds more, and then shifting the weight back. Okay, if you need to take a step, or if you stumble here, or even fall, that's all right. You just have an opportunity to get right back up, come back to center, standing tall. Remember your breath. Slow this shifting down until you come to a very small, your smallest possible movement. And see if you can find the center of your foot and let the weight of your body rest right over that center, guided by the connection of those 4 corners. Root relaxing down through the toes. The knees are easy. The legs are long, and you can lift your whole body, standing tall and relaxed. Great.
I'm going to take a very powerful stretch now for the bottom of the feet. So you're going to come down onto your knees. And I'll show you from the back as well. So the knee's going to stay parallel here, right in line with your toes and also in line with the center of your hip. Now the back of your foot is also parallel here. That helps keep the heel in line with the toes, and then the knee is also in line with the foot. But we're stretching the bottom of the foot. So this is kind of like this action I've seen your favorite dog do, but we are engaging as we do it. So it's not just a passive sitting on the feet. You might even use your hands to grab the little toe, make sure the little toe is reaching into the ground. So you're reaching back and stretching the bottom of your foot as you do this. And sitting up as tall and breathing deep. Now, if this gets super strong, it feels like too much, of course, please come out, pause. You can flex the toes, do some ankle rolls. And just come back into it. We're going to do this for about another 30 seconds. So as we're moving here with the body, especially the extremities of the body, still a little bit cold. We haven't done any big warm-ups. This is a great time to work with our connective tissue, as this tissue, it's not as stretchy. Can't be stretched the same way our muscles do. So sometimes working with it cold will give us a different perspective on how our tissues and how our joints are feeling. So sit up a little bit taller. And again, see if you can relax anything you don't need as you exhale. Nice. Then we're going to come off of that very big stretch. It's a really good one to do if you have flatter feet, if the arches of your feet are a little bit dropped towards the ground. I'm just going to take a little bit of massage now. So I'm going to massage the back of your calf. Squeezing, rubbing, just don't get violent with it. Don't get too crazy. And you don't even really need to focus or localize the pressure too much, but you want to just get a nice massage for the calf, even squeezing the front of the leg a little bit. What you're doing here is being mindful about what's going on in the tissues of the lower body, even rubbing down around the ankle. Now we start to warm things up a bit, and rubbing around the knees, a good way to encourage circulation. Sit up tall and just give yourself a good squeeze. Nice. All right, let's do the other side. Okay, now when you do the other side, you might already notice, like I'm noticing, one side is very different than the other. One side might be a lot stiffer, a lot more tired, or just a little bit tight. And if that's the case, well, then it's really good that you're taking the time to notice that, because when you have that information about different symmetries or imbalances in the body, then you are in a better position to help yourself return the body. And the body is always working to return to its natural, harmonious state. So now I am when I feel those tighter calf muscles on one side, I can work a little bit more, and I'm in a better position to help my body. Feel free to rub around the ankle, rubbing around the knee, even rubbing the top of the foot if that feels good. And then we're going to come up to standing, so you can cross your legs. This will help pulling into your center and coming up. I'm going to stretch the top of the foot now. So you take one foot is your standing foot and bring the other foot just about a foot length behind you. And even the little toe of the foot reaching down into the ground. And we want to energize the whole leg, the back leg pushing down, and then start to pull the leg forward. So if you engage the muscles of the back leg down, when you pull forward, it won't move. If you don't engage, then of course the leg can just slide too easily. It's not what we want. We want to push down. The muscle will start to hug towards the bone, and you should be feeling a big stretch in the front of the ankle of that back foot. Hands can stay close for balance or on a wall,
Or feel free to lift your arms up and lengthen the whole front side of the body. Lifting your chin, lifting the crown of your head. And again, returning your awareness back to that connection and the breath. Go ahead and release. Feel free to shake it out. Ooh. Nice. All right, second side. Set up the four corners on your standing foot. Relax the toes, and then begin to push the top of the back foot down into the ground. You'll feel that again in your lower abdomen. Then begin to drag the back foot forward. So this is another isometric stretch. There's not a lot of movement here, but you should feel a lot going on in that back leg. Try to keep, again, the knee, the ankle, the center line of the foot in alignment here. As you drag the foot forward energetically, you can also add the arms, not necessary, but it can feel like a nice extension through the whole front body. Tail reaching down, that belly pulling in. We'll take one more deep breath here. And then exhale, release. Lovely. Okay, I'm gonna come down now. Get into the backs of the legs one more time with a little chair pose. So bend your knees and go ahead and put your elbows right above your knees. Notice the feet are parallel, knees are parallel, and the inside of your hands as well. So you want to lower your hips down enough that you could touch the floor and your feet about hip distance apart. Hands helping remind you to keep the knees in alignment with your feet. And if you need a block, you can use that block. So now we can easily touch the floor. And get your hands on the floor and watch your knees. You want to make sure your knees stay parallel the whole time. Get your hands on the floor for a little bit of connection and support. And what we're going to do is start to lengthen and stretch the back of the legs. Spread your toes here. And do this by lifting your seat up. Now watch your knees. If your knees start to bend in like this, X legs or knock knees, or they fall out, that's going too far for your range of motion today. Come back to a neutral position, parallel. You can put the elbows behind the knees, and then get your hands on the ground, and we start to lengthen the legs by lifting the sitting bones up. Bend the knees, lift your spine up, reaching the crown of the head forward, and then exhale, go ahead and stretch the legs again. So we're not forcing the knee here. We don't want to initiate the movement from the knee. We want to initiate it from that lengthening of the leg and lifting your sitting bones up. Bend the knees, extend the spine, and then exhale, fold forward a little deeper. Let's do that again now on an inhale, coming up, bending the knees, lifting your heart forward as you keep those shoulders relaxed. Exhale, fold forward. Last big stretch here. Whew, good stuff. Now to come up, you're going to bring your hands to your hips and the elbows pointing up. Inhale, bend the knees and lift the back. Stand up tall in your mountain. Feel that. Very nice. Okay. So we've done a lot of stretch now for the whole leg. We're going to do a couple strengtheners and then cool it down before our final relaxation. So these are just calf raises. Spread your toes. Feel that connection of the bottom of the foot, and inhale, come on up. And exhale, lower your feet back down and back towards the back of your room as slow as you can. Inhale, come on up. Knees stay parallel here, a gentle bend. And imagine the back of your foot is kind of like a little wheel that you're rolling that wheel back and down. A little pulley action. Do two more here. Inhale. And exhale as slow as you can. Inhale, come up one more time in the calf raise.
Notice your knees. Knees stay parallel. Hands can be on the hips for balance or out wide. And then exhale, we're gonna bend the knees and lower all the way down. Keep your knees parallel. Keep them in line with your ankles and feet. Come on up. Engage the core. That'll help with balance. Again, find something that's not moving to look at. Whoa, and some wobbling is really good here. And come back down. Knees stay parallel. Coming up onto the toes and engaging through your center as you extend tall. And then one more time, really slowly lower the feet back down. Okay, good stuff. Just do one last stretch for the back of the leg. Come to the front of the mat, reach up. Exhale, bend from your hips, forward bend. Go ahead and take your first leg back into a high lunge. That front knee still right in line with the toes. Even the back foot should be in line with the knee. And watch the back foot. Now as you inhale, I'm gonna pull the back foot up, like the bottom of the foot is reaching up into the leg. And exhale, stretch that back foot back. So as you inhale, you're kind of scissoring your legs together towards the center. Exhale, stretch the back of the back leg. Inhale, it's like a suction cup on the bottom of your foot and it's sucking energy up into the body. Exhale, stretch it back. Inhale and exhale. And we'll switch sides, stepping forward and then stepping back. All the same things we've been doing before, noticing your alignment, noticing your breath, and then mindfully connecting with that. Inhale, we activate both legs, the leg bones pulling up into the body. And then as you exhale, that heel pushes back in the back foot. Nice stretch for the back of the leg again. Inhale, both legs pulling in. Exhale, stretch it back. Last two. Great. Inhale, step it forward. And exhale, fold forward. Forward bend. Okay, come down onto your knees. And then just down onto your seat. We're going to finish in a resting pose. Any resting pose that feels good for you. Now, if you have a bolster or a blanket, you might want to put that underneath the back of your knees. You could also bend the feet again. Bend the knees and rest the feet on the floor, or even rest the knees against each other. That might feel very supported and relaxed. If you take classic Shavasana with your legs extended, then let your feet gently roll outwards, the toes pointing outwards, your legs at least hip distance apart. Arms by your side with the hands facing up, so your shoulders can relax a little bit heavier towards the floor. Sometimes nice to just lift the whole upper body, draw your shoulder blades together, and then exhale, set the upper body down, the shoulder blades, the back of the shoulders connecting into the floor. Back of the head on the ground, closing your eyes, allowing your whole body once again to settle in. If you need to make any adjustments to settle more comfortably, please do so if you need to. Maybe that's adding a layer or taking off your glasses, putting something light and soft over your eyes for a little bit more darkness. Take your time to make any of those small movements or final adjustments that you may need. And then give yourself that time once again to arrive in this moment, in this body. Just noticing what you notice and feeling what you feel. So all of that work that we did today, very mindfully, all that stretching and strengthening, all that information, that new flexibility, and some of that balance will be better absorbed, will be better integrated into the whole body if you give yourself that time to let it settle, to let it rest. Your body will maintain that new information better than it would if you just moved on with the rest of your day by giving yourself a moment of stillness. With every exhalation, see if you can let your whole body rest a little heavier into the floor. With every inhalation, see if you can feel the length of your body, where it connects with the mat. And as you exhale, let all of those contact points rest down a little more. As you continue settling and resting here, you may find it's really nice to scan your whole body again, this time starting at the tips of your toes, and gently and gradually, continuously moving your awareness up the body, noticing any sensations, any strong feelings through the feet and ankles. And just allow your awareness to glide over the body, taking your time, enjoying yourself. Pausing where you need. And if you get distracted, if your mind should wander, that's okay. It happens. Notice when you've become distracted. Once you notice what's distracted you, just bring your attention back. Scanning your body and noticing your breath. Wherever you are, gradually bring your awareness back to here and now. Noticing the rise of your inhale and the fall of the exhale. And gradually start to deepen your breathing, enlivening your body with more fresh, oxygenated breath. And then beginning to awaken your body with any small movements that just feel sweet, just feel nice. Let those small movements spontaneously get bigger, maybe even stretching and reaching through the whole body with your arms overhead. You can reach from your fingers through your toes. And exhale and relax.
You come out by bending one knee and then the other, and squeezing your legs into the body again, perhaps rolling on your back, or rolling your neck side to side, and then roll over onto your right side. Just give yourself a moment here. When you're ready, use your hands to come up and finish just like you started, perhaps even choosing the same seated position you started with, using height if you prefer height, taking any last seat that feels comfortable, feels easy, it just feels right, or at least for right now. Taking a moment to just notice the overall effects of your practice. And finishing one more time by noticing your natural breath, paying extra attention to anything you might not have been able to notice before. Any changes. Thank you so much for being here. May your practice benefit you and those around you. Namaste.